Okay, 1774, good luck. So we've not played before, we have no head-to-head score. The opponent has 3,500 games of rapid. So let's just play a traditional reti, that's the main reti setup. You can accept it or you can decline it, which he's done there. So b4 is our standard reply, we just aim to get bishop up and bishop up like this, depending on what our opponent does. So here, I'm just going to develop the bishop. If he takes, I'll take this way. Otherwise, we can threaten to take. We can, okay. You can almost, if I've got e3 in here, you can then capture a pawn. But I could take this first. Yeah, I'm going to do that first. Just take. Now I've got e3 or g3. Or even d3. I've just got to watch out and attack to my bishop now. Knight up. No, I'm going to stick to doing it this way. Just try and get castled. As long as I can guard my bishop and not forget about it. There is a check there, I'm aware of that. Okay, now I've castled. You can obviously adequately guard this. Do I go e3 and try and open things up? It's a little bit bold, but it's something you often do in the reti. Yeah, I'm going to go e3 instead of d3. I might still do d3 as well, but takes I'll take back with the f pawn and try and challenge the center. Okay, he doesn't, but now I can take, right? I think I can just take and collect a pawn now, as long as I try not to blunder my rook. Now, if I take with the knight, we can obviously trade here. There's no queen check the following move, but it feels a little bit riskier. If I go with the bishop though, I mustn't forget he can take and undermine the bishop's defense, but it feels like the right move to me, so that's what I'm going to do. So he could take and hit the bishop if this isn't here. So just got to bear that in mind. So do I spend a move dropping back? Do I just develop the knight and leave that in the same position? Actually, I could go forward and look to trade the bishop. But trade, queen down is a bit annoying. So I'm just looking at knight up here. Yeah. Actually, knight up though, is my bishop getting trapped? I think I can always come this way, so I'll risk it. I'll develop my knight, complete minor piece development. We just got to watch out, takes, and the bishop's then not guarded. So that's what he's now set up. So we can just take here, we can hit the rook. We can just drop back, but I think I'm just going to take there. And then maybe challenge for the center, launch the pawn. It could get quite sharp, this actually, couldn't it? Do I just go up one, then I've got the... Oh no, go up one, I'll lose there, don't I? Queen up, rook across. I'm going to play rook across and see if he takes. Well, I could take either way if he takes. I don't think he will. I think he'll more likely just develop the bishop, but let's see. That's what he's done. But now that gives us a chance to push up two, maybe. Threatening to push on and hit the bishop again. I just got to watch out for attacks here. But now if I push up again, my knight is loose, so that's a little bit risky. Knight here. Takes, give a pawn back I don't like. I think I'm going to actually look to trade the bishop. I'm going to try and get the bishop off the board. But my pawns could get lost here, so... could be very difficult to guard them. Let's just see what he does. He's been playing it very fast, hasn't he? Very fast. He's up a minute on the clock already. What did I say? 3,500 games. Or 19 in Blitz. Okay. So do I want to push this on again? If the knight moves, I can't really guard here, but my knight would just fall instantly. Any way to get a Templar? Well, I could play knight across first. Well, I could drop the knight back, I guess, actually. Knight back, but then how do I push on? Or maybe I've got rook up here to hit the bishop. If bishop down on, if he goes back... I was trying to figure a way to keep this pawn. I'd like to push, but I'll lose my knight. Knight across first. But I've got knight back here to get out of the way and guard the pawn, haven't I? Let's do that. It's a little bit defensive though. What do I do? What do I do? I'm going to do it because I need to move the queen somewhere and get a rook behind the pawn, or just chuck the pawn forward. I'm also looking at rook up here to hit the bishop and the pawn. So he's played knight up. Now if I push here, that gives him a nice square. I think I need to move my queen, don't I? Let's play queen up maybe. Guard this pawn. It gives our rook a natural square to try and challenge it. I don't think he'd sack. I'm miles down on the clock and I need to get this knight onto a better square. Excuse me. Not doing a lot where it is. Knight across now might allow this, and if knight in I can trade, right? I like the look of that. We reinforce this pawn, we prepare to push, and if he comes in we can take. Then he gets an isolated pawn, so I think I'd be pleased with that. So I'm looking at c5 as a candidate move. Rook across weakens my f square. And I could maybe just chuck this pawn at the board, but that feels a bit wrong doing that. And now if it comes in, takes, he can take with a rook. That's probably sensible for my opponent. So let's bring the rook across, and it does weaken this, so it's a bit of a target. I might end up having to come back. Okay, so he's played queen down. What's the idea there? I don't quite see what he's aiming for there. Is rook up a move here? Feels like it. Let's play rook up, threatening just to jump the knight forward and hit the queen. The knight's guarded. The knight's double guarded. The rook's guarded. Queen guards the rook, so the rooks are all guarded. Knight guards the rook. If his knight could jump over here somewhere, it would obviously be a more dangerous position. He might be looking at doing this. He's only 3 moves off actually, but I'm threatening knight up in 1 move now to hit the knight and the bishop and the queen. So that's the threat. So he's gone back. Okay, so do we still have an active threat here? If I push here, takes, it opens up all sorts here, doesn't it? That feels risky. So I'm still looking at pushing here. Rook takes, and then there might be knight up at the end. I don't really like that though. Oh, queen up again, I lose my knight. Gotta be careful. Yeah, I can't leave this knight here. If I go here, that's loose and that's going to be loose. I'm going to play rook across and double them up and potentially come back. If my queen wanders off, I drop this knight. Got to be really careful. I'm 2 minutes down on the clock as well. I'd love to jump the knight around, but okay, it's going to get spicy now. I think I'm going to have to look to push here. So take. But if bishop takes, I might be able to get out the way with a check. Might not. Actually, what's wrong with knight back? That's guarded. I'm going to play knight back and try and jump this knight forward. We hit the queen. We cover this. He can move his bishop and double attack the pawn. He can get his knight in, or I might have to play rook across. But it gives me a chance to get forward, potentially. Not easy, not easy. These pieces are actually not badly placed now. Wait, what? Oh, that surely doesn't work. I think that's just a blunder. If he takes here, I can take with a check and then take back. I know my knight's loose, but I actually guard it. Nice idea. I mean, I could even take with the knight now and hit the queen. Does it matter then? Because then if he plays across, my knight won't be under attack. So I think the knight's what I should take with. You'd like to take with your pawn here. But then after rook across, knight could get lost. So I'm going to go with the knight. The rooks are guarded. I hit the pawn, I hit the queen. That should be good enough now. I was aware of that concept. I didn't think it worked. Obviously, you can always miscalculate any position, but I didn't think it worked. So I think I just take here now and get another pawn. And I don't see the threat. We try and get the queen off the board. If the queen comes off, it should be very easy having 2 extra knights. It should be. Don't mean it is, but it should be. So yeah, he knows to keep it on. So do I just march up now? He's got rook down as a potential. Then I guess I just drop back, but do I want the queen here first to cover that? I think I do actually. I'm going to drop back here and offer the trade again. And now I'm covering the rook coming to c1. And then I'll just march the pawn up the board. Okay, he's gone back. So now I'm going to try and just march the pawn as far up the board as I can. Keep the back rank solid. Maybe I need to chuck a pawn forward to give the king an emergency square. Okay, he's played across. So I guess I just come over now, try and guard this. Yeah, let's go here, because the knight covers. There is an attack coming here. I can maybe just drop a rook back. You can play queen across and hit the pawn. I'll drop a rook back, I guess. Okay, he goes there, so there's no immediate attack. So I'm just going to march the pawn up. I can maybe go here if I need to. Rook across is the natural move. Queen over to guard and then rook back to guard, I think. He'll have to fly pawns down the board at some point, so I can go here with a tempo on the queen. Trade, rook check, I just take. So I think I go here to get a tempo on the queen. And he'll probably go back here hitting the pawn. Oh, he's gone to blockade. But can I just ignore it and push? I don't think I can, so I think I'll drop back. Guard the pawn. I could even chuck the pawn forward with f4, guessing the knight would support. So there's actually a threat on the board. So he's gone back. But if I go f4, can he go g5 and threaten some sort of nasty? I don't think so. Here. Maybe he can. Maybe he can. Let's be sensible. And drop the rook back for now and guard the pawn. Queen's double guarded. My pawn's ready to run again. I'm down to 3 minutes. I'm 2 minutes down on the clock. So f4, can you just do g5? Okay, he's gone there, so I could activate a knight now, but it feels risky. I think I'm just going to march forward. In the back rank is double covered here as well. So can I play rook across now and force a rook off? Takes, queen takes. No. Here. No. I can maybe grab another pawn, can't I? Let's just grab the pawn and come back. So I'm down to 3 minutes, so I could easily find my clock vanishing here. Queen across might be a move as well, depends what he does. I guess he's got queen over. So queen back just to be ultra solid. So let's come back. Now can I jump my knights at some point? Or like I say, launch one of the pawns. Rook up and across could be good, supported by a pawn. This could be good. Just to force one of the pieces off. The more pieces he's got, the more risk there is for me. He's created a weakness here though now. Knight up and check. So if I can create that in the right fashion as well. So knight f4, knight check. Well, see, let's just clear our mind and worry about it when it's our move. The more pieces on the board, especially the heavyweight pieces, the more risk there is of me blundering it all the way. But right now, rook check, I just simply take. It's double covered. And I can blockade with my knight here as well. That's the target, but it's well covered. Okay, so knight up threatens a real check. The knight up, actually getting the knight active, you're going to have to deal with this. But maybe you can. Maybe I can then take and check, actually. I'm going to do that. I'm threatening to actually take and check here. See, guards here. Then the rook would actually fall and queen takes. I've still got to check. Or I could check, queen takes and take the rook. But take the rook would be a nice way to finish it. So he's found a good move. So here doesn't quite work, but rook across now surely. Now we're threatening a back rank check. We're still covering here. King's got emergency squares. Knight here is going to be a threat to hit two rooks. I think my king's safe. I think I'm alright. Okay, so check. Takes. Queen takes. Pin the queen. That would be cleanly winning. But knight up, hit the two rooks. Looks good, doesn't it? I don't see any reason not to do that. Just hit the two rooks. But yeah, the other way, if you're not sure, he's just sacked now. If you weren't sure, you could have just thrown the rook check in. Takes, queen takes, pin the queen. Pin the queen there. Okay, and it would have been cleanly winning. So we managed to get the win. So let's just see what it was in engine language. So I'll pause so I don't accidentally start another game. Then we go back to the game. So we played 42 moves. So they're the move times for both players there. Now let's request an analysis. Especially we want to try and learn if we've messed up in the opening, if we've mixed up our opening theory anywhere, or we blundered here. So we're actually +4 here and we've blundered. So we should not have taken the knight. I did that quickly, didn't I? I should have played the rook across. So take the knight was a blunder. He must have an effective move there. So that was actually a blunder. I'm still better, but only 0.4. So 4.4 to basically level. So that's my only blunder of the game. 89 versus 81 on the accuracy. Right, let's reset and flick through. So this is all okay. Nothing being flagged here. Yeah, so you should actually take there. The idea is to take with the F pawn and then try and get forward and challenge for the centre. Bit double-edged. It opens my king's defence up. It's a bit double-edged, but it's what you should have done. So we've won a pawn at least temporarily. This development is all okay. So this was all okay, trading the bishops. But I should have taken with the king, not the knight. So the actual trade was good, but I should have left the knight here. Okay, that's a bit counterintuitive to me. I'd still prefer to take with a knight, I think. And here I should have brought the knight forward, not back over to guard the pawn. I should have been a bit more adventurous. Then here I should have pushed the pawn on instead of queen up again. It concedes all this ground for the knight, but I should have done that. Just left this here now, and that was the right thing to do. Maybe you're getting your rook forward. C5, knight d5, and then bring the knight over to e3 after the knight's got there. Okay, so that's what I should have done. And the next few moves, as you can see, are all good. And then again, I should have played c5 again here instead of dropping the knight back and going a bit defensive. I was trying to cover this square. But yeah, all these trades here were actually good for us, so we shouldn't have worried about that. We should have done that. But knight takes was a blunder, and as you can see, I've blundered back by taking with the queen. I should have gone with the rook. The knight jumps out to a3, and then take it, and for some reason that's better. I don't understand why. That's a little bit odd, isn't it? That's a little bit odd. So why was this a blunder there? Instead of bishop takes, he's got queen takes the knight, but I'd seen that, but I thought I was okay. I thought I was okay. Why did I think I was okay here? Because the queen takes actually covers the pawn. It's just like a piece for a piece, wasn't it? And then I can, well, I guess I can't jump up. I'd have to drop back here. Actually, I can't do that either. I hang the queen. So you should have taken. I need to get the queen right out of the firing line here, otherwise this would come. The bishop goes across, then I've got the knight to f4. So we're still level, we've just swapped a piece for a piece. That's why I'd blundered then. But then from this point, it's just been relatively comfortable. We've just converted it very well with no more mistakes. But that's how easy it is for any game to go wrong. Just one simple blunder and we've lost 4 points. But here we've managed to find a nice conversion here, and there's not much else that can be done, barring more blunders, but they do happen, as we've seen there. So at our level, not a bad game.